Skippyjon Jones came from my dear little kitten, Skippy, and I had him for 9 years. He was very funny. One day he came down to have some kitty crunchies at breakfast, and he went down into his kitty litter box, and a bee flew into the basement, buzzed around his head, and got into a little altercation with him. And he came upstairs and he had gumball-sized bites all over his little head, and I picked him up and I said, "Oh, Skippyjon Jones, we're gonna have to take you to the vet." And that's when something miraculous happened, and he began to speak Spanish to me. That is when he said, "Mamalita, I see the fire of love burning in your heart for me, and all I want to do is to stop, to drop, and to roll." Some people think that I'm writing about a Chihuahua, but he is not a Chihuahua. He is a Siamese cat. The 5th book is coming out, Lost in Spice. If we can all imagine the red planet, which is Mars, and the reason Mars is red is because it's covered in chili powder. So Skippy loves red, it's his favorite color. So he wants to go to Mars. He, borrows the chili powder from his mom. He sprinkles it into his big boy bed, and he goes bouncing in a cloud of red, rusty red powder. Skippyjon Jones, Lost in Spice. Skippyjon Jones was nuts about Mars because it was the red planet. "I love red," that's what he said, "and I musty put some rusty in my big boy bed." So off he went to the kitchen, where Mama and the girls were starting supper. "May I please borrow your bottles of red spice, Mama?" he asked politely. "Yes, you may," replied Mama, pleased with her boy's manners. "But you better not be thinking of doing any sprinkling." "Uh-uh," said Skippy, blinking. "Or tasting, pasting, or wasting, if you know what is good for you," she added. Well, Skippyjon Jones always knew what was good for him, and that was bouncing and pouncing and rocketing in the rusty red dust. I started as an illustrator. I was always drawing, and never thought I would write a book at all. But, I have cats, and cats tell stories all by themselves. They like to do silly things, and the reason they do those silly things, like sleep on your head in the middle of the night, is because they want you to write about it. So that's how I became an author. This is called Stop, Drop, and Roll into a book. I'm sketching this out for an idea for a t-shirt. Would you wear it? As long as the cat is talking to me, then the truth is covered in fur. I'm almost 60. I like to play with my toys. Okay, now you can ask me some questions. It feels great to be a cat. In fact, I think as a cat I could do anything. I mean, you're covered in fur. When don't you ever look good? If I could go through life with a bag on my head like this, I'd be over the moon. Or on Mars, at least. I had a good time making this book. I laughed a lot at 3 o'clock in the morning. Scientists had no idea that chili peppers were grown on Mars and that it's just covered in chili powder. No one knew that, but I like to give it a little bit of, my books are really nonfiction.